Hey, what's up, Tropic? Tom here. In this video, I want to quickly walk you through how you can use our content creation commercial agreement. As you're, creating content, working with brands, creating UGC content. I feel like in this day and age, that's a very common path as a filmmaker, videographer, is to create content for brands. So we've specifically catered and curated this contract to work and kind of be designed for the content creator in mind. Just sort of disclaimer at this moment in time, we are not lawyers, so definitely don't take this video as legal advice, but we did partner with entertainment lawyers to help us draft the copy, the words, and the structure of this document that you're about to see me jump into. And the only sections I'm going to actually change in this video are the sections that in theory you would change to make it your own, which are highlighted yellow in this document. Should you decide to delete paragraphs and add paragraphs, that's where you start to probably want to consult with someone with a little bit more like legal knowledge. But yeah, this video is less of legal advice and more just to walk you through as a content creator, how you can use this on your next project. So the first step is when you open up the content creation commercial agreement, you're going to see quite a few things in yellow. The things in yellow are us kind of basically highlighting the areas that you need to physically go in there and type and change on a project to project basis. I would take this moment and duplicate this, pages file multiple times and kind of save the master original. And anytime you need to create a new one for whatever brand you're working on or working with, just duplicate it, because you might change it to a point where you wish you could get back to the original, which is what we're at right now. So yeah, maybe take this moment if you're about to use this for the first time, just copy and paste it and kind of modify the copied version, if that makes sense. I'm not going to go through, because I want to keep this video pretty short, and change everything in real time, but just know that anything highlighted in yellow, yeah, obviously you just need to input your own, input like the date, your company name. And once you've filled this out, for instance, I'll just fill this part out, right? Say I'm filling this out as Tropic Color LLC, right? And maybe you don't want your client to see this all highlighted and you rather it be bolded. Yeah, real easy. All you need to go here is in this little gear cog thing, and you would just literally hit this little white line. And maybe you want to bolden this, so you could do that. So there's a couple ways you can go about it. If you don't really care that the things you're changing are still highlighted, that's fine. The highlighting was more for internal use. So when you get this, it's not just overwhelming and you're like, what do I do? The things highlighted are the things you need to change. But yeah, let's move forward. I mean, obviously this is where you would just, anything that's kind of in brackets where it's insert number of content deliverables. There's going to be things you just need to physically input. So say you're creating 2, and then for example, briefly describe the content you're creating. I would maybe just highlight this and type in vertical UGC brand videos. Boom, right? And you're going to obviously input whatever you're doing. I mean, as a content creator, you're creating a variety of content. So maybe you're just doing product photography, a product review, a UGC testimony. So this is kind of where you would define what you're doing, your scope of work, or what services or deliverables you're providing to that brand. But yeah, I mean, the rest of it really is pretty straightforward. You're going to insert what time you're going to deliver this at, how many revisions. Here, I kind of included this with our lawyers. Basically, kind of just defines, I guess, a personal story, right? I've been in multiple endless rounds of revisions with clients, and I wish I had this clause in my contract, because an edit can really get away from you. So say you turn in the first version and they want, a bunch of changes and a bunch of changes. And, after 10 revisions, it's almost not profitable anymore. So here you can really define the terms of the way you're doing the revision. So yeah, I kind of just put in boilerplate stuff, adjusting color, brightness, effects. That way, it's kind of defined what your client can ask for. But I highlighted this yellow because, yeah, I mean, this could be on a project to project basis, and maybe you really want to minimize or expand what your client can offer revision notes on. So yeah, and at the bottom of every page, you're going to initial your section. So for me, if I was filling this out, I would just go TC, or my initials, TT for T. And obviously your client's going to need to sign their initials here, and please like take a moment and like pause this video. There's actually like a README PDF that comes with this contract. And yeah, it obviously just kind of like talks about how, essentially both parties need to sign this contract for it to be legally binding. And there's others kind of like boilerplate stuff that I really do want you to read, especially if you're running your business. Like there's just certain things that I want to make sure that you understand when you're using this, creator contract. But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go through every single one. I mean, a lot of these terms we just included because we feel like it protects you as a content creator. I think maybe the initial hesitation is like if you're starting out as a brand or a creator and you're working with a brand and you feel like, oh man, like if I send them this massive contract, is that going to like hurt or, make them not want to work with me because they think I'm, got too many restrictions? And that's like a fair point. I think when I was starting out as a cinematographer, I wanted to keep the working relationship fairly frictionless. So I was always kind of scared to send things that, might spook out the brand or the client or whatever. But at the end of the day, this is really just to protect yourself. And if you feel like at your own discretion, you feel like some of these paragraphs or clauses you feel like are redundant and you just want to tighten this, you can do so at your own risk. But really everything in here, there's no fluff. Like force majeure, this kind of protects you in like an act of God environment, right? Like, COVID or maybe a writer's strike, like things you can't control. Like it's nice to have clauses in here that protect you for those kind of like worst case scenarios. So I kind of just say that you would kind of, if you want to modify this, you're kind of doing so at your own leisure or at your own discretion. And anything you like kind of get rid of or change obviously opens you up for some sort of, opportunity for the client to maybe take advantage of you, if that makes sense. But yeah, really at the end of the contract, you just need to have your client sign this, and then you yourself need to sign this as the contractor. And yeah, on the very last page, you just want to obviously like define like what you are delivering. That way, like it's very, very, clear to whoever you're working with. So I would like, for instance, write, 2 UGC 9x16 60-second videos for brand X, right? And it's just like boom, it's all listed out there. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, this is literally just an editable contract, so there's really not too much to dive in. And like I said, like really, if you have any hesitations or you're about to work with a massive client or brand and it's a huge opportunity for you, you definitely should still run this through whatever like legal resources you have. But for like the starting out content creator, pending you don't change too much and really just change what's highlighted yellow, this really should protect you in most instances. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful. We're trying to create a lot of resources for this kind of next generation of filmmakers who really are starting out as content creators. As a content creator, you're focusing on the content and being creative, and like the business aspects like this is usually the thing that we're thinking about last. So over at Tropic, we're just trying to create resources that allow you as a content creator to create and can not have to really worry about taking your kind of finger off the pulse of creating and have to kind of worry about all this stuff. So yeah, this among other resources that we're working on in this sort of content creator tab over at Tropic are designed to help you out. So yeah, that pretty much wraps this up.